The limited physical space our residents have available is probably one of the biggest challenges for people to have pets in DC. While DC's single-family units make up 80% of the residential buildings, they only account for about 30% of the housing stock. That means that most people live in some type of multifamily dwelling, which in many cases have some type of pet restrictions. While many landlords allow for pets in, say, rented buildings, in most cases that carries an additional cost to the tenants. I also think that pet ownership is sometimes limited by working parents in an expensive city like DC who may struggle with the added cost a pet may bring and the time to care for that pet.
This is my dog Langston. My husband and I rescued him after the 2016 election. You could say he was our election therapy dog. So I definitely agree that pets can certainly help with mental health. I think that in DC, one of the biggest barriers to folks having pets is around housing. I know that was a restriction for us for quite some time, whether it be someone who lives in public housing that absolutely doesn't allow pets, or live in a building where they may allow certain types of pets, but it comes at an expensive cost. I would say those are probably the biggest barriers right now.
I'm Ed Lazier, and my family has been a pet family for a long time. My sons were born into a house with two cats, Doug and Dimsdale. When they died, we pretty quickly adopted our dog, Lucy. And then, two feral cats decided to make this porch their home. We had them spayed and neutered, we built them a shelter, and we feed them every day. I think it would be great if every DC family had the opportunity to own a pet the way that my family has, and I think we can get there. I want to encourage our housing authority to allow public housing tenants to own pets. I want to encourage private landlords to allow pets in their building by creating a fund that they can tap to address pet damage. And I want to support lower income families who own pets by helping them pay for needed veterinary care. Pets for everyone. It's a great motto, and I know we can get there.
So as an elected representative in Ward 8, I've gotten a front row seat to the real impacts that the stressors of not only this COVID crisis, but of things like poverty and our constant struggle with gun violence can have on communities, and that ripples out. But I've also gotten a front row seat and seen friends who've been tremendously benefited by the presence of companion animals to help them regain that sense of security, regain their mental health, and get a new lease on life. And so as a member of the council, I'm going to be super supportive of efforts to make sure we provide that type of support for our neighbors in need, including our folks who live in public housing, but also make sure we tear down economic barriers to a very real benefit that our neighbors can have, making sure that we're helping with veterinary care and making sure that we're breaking down barriers to leasing and renting that may prevent the presence of companion animals that we know are a net benefit for our residents in need.